Star Wars. Clone Wars Return will finish the show. By finish, we're talking about like conclusions, right? Coming to an end, something that's satisfying, something that actually wraps up the story nicely, something that longtime fans have been waiting and hoping for, feels like a natural conclusion, and they're not insulted or feel like their characters have been disgraced or brutalized or had their characters assassinated, something to that effect. We're not talking about like, finishing things like the way Rian Johnson almost did and the way he almost finished off a 40-year franchise with a 2.5-hour disaster piece.
Finish him! Excellent. Nobody wins. God movie. Franchise fatality.
How's it going, everybody? This is Phil. I hope you enjoyed that Mortal Kombat introduction. It was a real bitch to produce. It was the reason why I wasn't able to get this thing up a day earlier. But I'm happy with the way it turned out in the end. So I hope you guys had fun with that and it made you laugh a little bit. Well, look, I know I'm a couple of days late on this one, and I haven't been around much. I've just been dealing with some things at work, and needed also to get some stuff squared away at home that I've been putting off. But all is well, and I couldn't miss commenting on something as cool as this. That popped up recently at the San Diego Comic-Con. And I kind of missed having a conversation with everybody here on this channel. So let's breeze on through this great bit of news, and we'll discuss throughout and talk a bit more about it when we're finished reading. So let's begin here. And this is a great hero shot, these two guys. This is really a great show. Okay, so Star Wars The Clone Wars is returning to finish the show. The series aired for 6 seasons from 2008 to 2013 on Cartoon Network, created by George Lucas. The Clone Wars covered a 3-year period between Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. For me personally, I always thought that Episode 2 and Episode 1 should have been one movie, maybe like 2.5 hours long, with a time jump in between. So they go from young Anakin to Hayden Christensen, and that kind of builds up to where the end of Attack of the Clones finishes in the theaters, that movie. So then Episode 2 becomes The Clone Wars, and then Episode 3 is Your Revenge of the Sith. So I don't know if you're following me with the way that I said that. So Episode 1, Episode 2 are one combined movie, and then technically then the Episode 3 would be the Clone Wars. But look, we got this great series out of it, because they didn't really showcase those wars in the movie. So I mean, really, you can't complain at this point. The new stories about existing characters to the Star Wars saga, including Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padme Amidala, Yoda, Chancellor Palpatine, Yoda again. I guess there were 2 Yodas apparently. I guess he came in season 4 or 5, which I have yet to get into. So now is it Yoda, or is it Jake Yoda? Or do they call him Joda? Joda ran away to Dagobah at the end of Revenge of Sith. And actually, we all know he was Master Yoda before he became Force Ghost Pyro Yoda. Anyway, even Darth Maul were the focus of the series. The Clone Wars built on the groundwork established in Attack of the Clones, delving into the war that was fought between the Republic's clone army and Count Dooku's separatist forces. During the series, the clone army was developed into 3-dimensional characters like Captain Rex. No love for Commander Cody. He was a good soldier. I mean, he turned on Obi-Wan right away on Order 66, but Good soldier nonetheless up until that point. In addition to the clones, new characters like Ahsoka Tano, a good Star Wars character. The Padawan to Anakin Skywalker were introduced to fans. She would go on to become one of Star Wars' most popular characters, and now it looks like they're all coming back for another round. Yeah, absolutely. Where is she in this? Ahsoka. Ahsoka is very much a beloved character at this point in the franchise, and it speaks volumes to the storytelling ability of George Lucas, as well as Dave Filoni, to take pretty much an annoying character upon initial exposure. If you go back and watch the first movie, and then build her over the years into a very celebrated and cared for part of this universe. And she's very much a strong female character who earned a place through struggle and sacrifice, allowing her to rise to such a prominent position of esteem in the overall consciousness of the fan community. We love us some snips. Get that t-shirt made. The news about the Clone Wars returning was announced during Thursday morning's Clone Wars 10th anniversary panel at San Diego Comic-Con by Dave Filoni. And as it absolutely should have been. Lucas himself would have been the only other one I would have accepted to make the announcement. Dave's the one from here on out. He's our Uncle George, Uncle Dave, if you will. Lucasfilm quickly offered more detail on the series in an interview with Filoni, who confirmed they are finishing the story. An opportunity to put the final pieces of the story in place is meaningful as a storyteller. I'm happy for the opportunity to define these things and the end of this part of the Clone War, he said. The series will return with 12 new episodes on Disney's direct-to-consumer streaming service. And I love when they interview Filoni and he says things like an opportunity to put the final pieces of the story in place is meaningful as a storyteller. Man, that's what we want to hear, right? We want to hear that somebody's in charge inside Lucasfilm that really cares about meaningful storytelling. And that's why we love this guy so much. Because he's as much a fan as we are, and he cares very much, and he wants to see this stuff thrive, and see the stories told be really well conceived, meaningful stories with great characters and arcs and fun and kind of really draw from the original movies and what made them so much fun. And compelling and right, people just kind of took to them in the ways that they did, and that's what you get when you got a guy like Dave who's in charge and he's running a kind of programs and stories and hopefully movies, whatever he gets into. And I think he needs to have his hand in every pie that's there creatively. But, whatever he's involved with, fans are excited for. And these are the reasons why. Series will be 12 episodes. 12 sounds a bit short, but I wouldn't want them to compromise the integrity of the story. Again, just to throw in a Jar Jar Binks filler episode. We don't need anything like that at this point. Just give us the story that needs to be told to bring the series to a close. If that's the game plan here, and don't dick around with unimportant episodes just to add some extra padding to the entirety of the season, so it looks more appealing on the streaming service. You do things like that for network television. This is a different ball game with the streaming service, and it's a proven concept at this point. You don't have. You have over 5 seasons of this show's backlog to go through as a viewer. And that's going to be available on Disney streaming service. Just make these 12 episodes, make this the love letter to fans they've been clamoring for all these years, and you'll be rewarded with praise and repeat business, and don't F that up being greedy and thinking people won't notice the lack of quality. Them days are over, kids. Just ask Kathleen Kennedy. she'll tell you. Look at this! Look at this shot. This is such a great shot in the trailer. Let's leave that up there for a little bit. Fans have been asking for a continuation of the Clone Wars since the series ended, with Ahsoka Tano leaving the Jedi Order in 2013, spoiler alert, while a few episodes entitled The Lost Missions aired after Season 5, the series was never adequately wrapped up. Filoni expressed how important the series was to fans that grew up with it, and after concluded, he moved on to Star Wars Rebels. I've seen some of Rebels. I liked it. It's a little less adult than the Clone Wars, but it was a lot of fun from what I saw in the first season. I'm looking forward to getting back into that. A trailer for the new Clone Wars revival was shown, along with the graphic featuring the hashtag Clone Wars Saved, indicating that it was the fan campaign to bring back the series that convinced Disney-owned Lucasfilm to give it another chance. Well, about time you listened to us. The trailer featured the return of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as Captain Rex, Ahsoka Tano, and Bo-Katan. I gotta tell you, man, that trailer gave me chills, and not douche chills, like legit Star Wars goosebumps, raising the hair on my arms type chills. And I don't know about you guys, but I miss having those types of Star Wars feels. It's things like this that still fill me with hope that we can get things back to a really good place again. And man, I'm not sure if they're going to go with Kevin Kiner to keep him as the composer of the Clone Wars. He was a composer on the original, on the Clone Wars series, or because it's a short 12-episode run, they're going to go all in, and score the show with the classic John Williams music. But wow, hearing the classic Star Wars music used in that trailer really, really elevated like the epic feeling of the visuals. It just took everything to a whole different level. I mean, go back and look at this shot, okay? That shot alone in the trailer with the music, man, it feels really, really epic and very much like classic Star Wars editing and cinematography with the ships, the over-the-shoulder view, kind of going back to that great shot at the end of Empire, and the music driving home the feeling of that grand space opera epicness. I mean, just so good, so good. So the new season of the Clone Wars episodes will continue storylines developed during the first 6 seasons, but this isn't the only Star Wars show coming to Disney's streaming service. Early this year, Star Wars' third animated show, Star Wars Resistance, which I don't know how I feel about that one yet, but I'll give it a shot because Dave's involved, was announced along with a live-action series from Jon Favreau. Looking forward to that as well. I have faith in Jon Favreau. After Star Wars Rebels ended this past spring, fans of the universe built by these animated series will have more material to look forward to. This was merely an unexpected but welcome surprise for Star Wars fans. Yeah. Well, look, unexpected surprises that actually get things right are always going to be well received and welcomed by the vast majority of fans. That's definitely what we have going on here with an announcement like this. You want to talk about restoring faith in Star Wars and giving fans something that they can be excited about and look forward to. Well, these are the types of projects that really need to be considered going forward. The Clone Wars is very much a show that a lot of fans felt never really got the proper conclusion that it deserved after Lucasfilm was purchased, by Disney. I mean, for me personally, The Clone Wars was a show I really liked and got into when it first started to air. I made it into season 3 and always meant to go back and complete it, but never set time aside for that up until recently. With that, I'm going back to the beginning and watching all the seasons, not just picking up where I left off, because it has been a while, so I want to kind of refresh myself and not forget about characters from the first 2 seasons. But listen, after this announcement, I'm pumped to get through all the episodes and then rip through Rebels so I can be ready to go by the time these 12 episodes hit Disney's streaming service. And as far as that, as far as this being a Disney streaming service exclusive. Some people seem to be down on that. Well, look, you have to expect something like that if they want exclusive content that's going to drive subscribers to the service. Just look around, and it's pretty much unanimously being celebrated that the series is making a return. So don't let yourself get hung up on the fact that Disney is angling something like this to help drive subscribers to their service. They're still trying to turn a profit on that $4.05 billion, and if they can they can figure out ways to do it by turning out quality Star Wars products, instead of some of the hot garbage we've gotten, well, then I'm all for it. I know I've been saying all along, I'm more than happy to open my wallet so long as my money goes to something I consider to be a quality product. If Kathleen Kennedy got up there, think about this a couple days ago. If Kathleen Kennedy got up there at Comic-Con and she made the announcement that they were bringing back the Clone Wars, and then announced Rian Johnson as the director, then we would have a major gripe, But look, we pretty much got the band back together for this, and Dave Filoni is right and heard. Whatever drives Disney to make good decisions like this, I don't really care. So long as they are made, and the end result is something on par with what we've come to expect bearing the Star Wars name. Up until recently, that is. So look, where are we at? We get Kathleen Kennedy out the door in September. All right, then we have an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie starring Ewan McGregor on the horizon. All right, we have a very capable Jon Favreau producing a live-action Star Wars series, and now we have Dave Filoni helming the return and conclusion to a beloved Clone Wars franchise. Dare I say it, giving the fans something they've been clamoring for. Something people want to see. And have it make its return. These are all good things for the Star Wars brand. We're not completely out of the woods yet, but we're certainly getting news that makes us feel hopeful about the future of Star Wars, and that's something we haven't gotten in some time. Now just cancel those Rian Johnson bombs he's working on, and we'll be in a far healthier place, than we were only a few months ago. Okay, guys, so how do you feel about this very cool announcement? Were you a fan of the show originally? Did you never watch it but plan on going back to see it, especially now after the announcement? Are you someone like me who started watching it in the beginning but then fell off for whatever reason, and I've been meaning to go back and finish off the series, or do you just not give a shit about the Clone Wars? Look, I know over the years, if I could say anything to people who maybe don't give a shit, I know over the years I've turned on a lot of friends of mine who are Star Wars fans to the series that weren't interested or skeptical in the beginning, and they all loved it. So I say, if you've been on the fence about it, give it a try. There's an occasional Jar Jar episode and a few other weaker ones, but mostly it's a very strong show. It's also a lot darker and adult than you may perceive it to be, because of it being animation. There were genuinely times watching a show where I was like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. That was pretty dark shit for a kid's show. So give it a shot. You might be pleasantly surprised. So okay, gang, that's it. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to like and comment down below. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving that little bell a click so you can be notified the next time I post a video. Until next time, be happy, be safe, be healthy, and have a great day. Bye-bye.